Right. Hi. I'm working with a guy who clearly has an issue with me. I'm not sure what I've done, and when I ask him, he says he doesn't have an issue, but he deliberately excludes me and is always making remarks about things I say in meetings, etc. Other than run into HR, what can I do? Have you guys dealt with characters like this before? I am that character.
um, I don't know. It's a hard one because like I am very moody at times at work, and it's not necessarily anyone around me their fault, but it's the fact that I've woken up early, don't want to be there. I'm
Hmm.
not doing, say, because I work a lot of weekends. People that I know are doing stuff at the weekends. I'm annoyed that I'm at work, etc., etc. So it could just be his home life. I wouldn't like. It might even be as deep as that. Like he's not thinking about you at all. He's just a misery. But if he's leaving you out or stuff, then I would just try and for me, I would overplay being nice to him, like kill him with kindness almost. And when he's setting up stuff like work, drinks, or whatever, you just make sure you set up one yourself and do one yourself at another time, etc. And just almost create another clique. That's what I would do.
Yeah, I don't see like I understand that when you go to work you don't want to be in an environment where you feel uncomfortable, right?
Hmm.
But everyone's there and being paid to be there to do the job. And like not I'm not being horrible or anything, but what does it matter?
I think some people just like to be liked, innit?
Yeah. Whereas see I'm the opposite. See I go through routine, right? And this is why I said I'm this guy in this email. Because when I start somewhere new, and this is probably something to do with autism or ADHD, when I start somewhere new, I'm friendly, so I'll talk to people, I'll meet new people, and I've got a specific time frame. I couldn't tell you when it is, but my brain does. That for that, say let's say a month. For that month, everyone that I'm nice to is the only people I'm going to be nice to. So anyone that now starts after that month is new, and I don't want nothing to do with them.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter who you are. What to me, you're a new guy, and I ain't got time for you. There's no benefit for me talking to you, and that sounds really rude, but I've talked to the people that have been there long enough to help me out with things, and because you're new, you now know less than me do, so you're irrelevant. So like all these people they bring into work, they're all like saying hi to me, and I'm like just looking at them, like, what do you want? But then if they get put with me to work, then I'll talk to them, and well, I won't talk to them, but I'll be relatively nice. And then
Yeah.
if they
Yeah.
then when they leave again, they now don't exist. So I'm like a massive mind fuck because it's like I could be really nice one day, and then the next day they come in, they're like, "Oh, morning, Dad," and I'm like, "What?" Like I've never worked with them before ever.
Yeah, and I think there is a lot of guys like that,
Yeah,
especially like in places I've worked. I think there is a lot of guys that are not even willing to fucking train you, let alone
no,
fucking give you the time of day. I don't know. I go through, as you said, I go through little cycles myself where I have to pull myself out of cycle a certain thing that I do because I do this thing where I'll come into an area or come into a section or come into a new job and I'll be all guns blazing, wanting to figure everything out about the entire thing. I then get all the knowledge that I think I need to know.
yeah,
Then I become a miserable cunt for
yeah.
a good period of time.
That's what I'm saying. Like you speak to people that benefit you, and then once
mm,
someone else comes in that doesn't have that benefit, you're like, why are you speaking to me?
mm.
That's exactly what you're
But
saying.
then I always say, "Oh, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit." But then I find myself ranting about things that annoy me. That means I do care. Do you know what I mean? But it's I don't know. It's a catch 22. It's hard. I think a lot of people aren't happy in their workplace in general,
No.
and this guy could be one of them. And I think I would say I'm pretty happy with the guys I'm working with. The work's not hard. It's long hours and easy work, but there's a lot of problems that come with it, and it's the problems that come with it that I focus on, because being English, you always go negative. I think.
Yes. I've
I
said
think that's just our
before,
natural go-to.
Americans live in the clouds and we live in the dirt.
I think like the English are just natural pessimists, aren't we? So
Yeah.
Yeah, I to be honest, I wouldn't take it too much to heart. I think there's a lot of different characters you can work with. I've learned that over the years. I used to think that because we worked predominantly with women in the early years in co-op and stuff, I thought, oh, this is as bitchy as you're going to get. Then I worked with a group of guys for the first time, and they are much worse than women about being bitchy and talking about each other. So then you kind of get into a situation where you realise everywhere's the same. It's just got different titles on it and different bullshit around it. And when you get to that point, when you think about geezers that are like 30 years more into their careers than we are, and we're already at that realization now, if someone's like in their 50s, he don't give a shit. He does not give a shit. Do you know what I mean?
No.
He's done. All the old boys in my place talk about retirement every day, because that's all they think about is their retirement package.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like, I wasn't like saying, what does it matter? That's not me being rude. It's like, why does it matter? Like, that person, you said to him, what's his problem? He said he hasn't got one. So yeah, it's just that guy. That's all it is. Like, you meet people like that all the time.
Some people have weird prejudice as well. He could just be a dick.
Yeah, I'm very much a dick. I admit that. But like, yeah, so it's like being excluded is just a thing because he's like used to the people he's talking to, and you're just overthinking it, thinking like, oh, but he's probably not. He's probably not thinking to himself, oh, I'm going to set a night out and I'm not going to include this person and this person. He's probably just like, I go out with these people and that's the people I'm going to invite.
Yeah, you're just not even in his scope yet.
No, at all. So he's told you that he hasn't got a problem with you and he's just going by his normal everyday. Yes, he's probably a bit of a dick as well. But I mean, as long as you're going and doing your work, everyone's just there to get paid.
I think for this guy to actively dislike you as well, he would be having to go home and thinking about you as much as you're going home right now and thinking about him.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what you got to think about. Like, you got to think, is he going back to his house or his fucking bedsit or whatever, wherever the fuck he lives, and thinking about how much he dislikes you? I very much doubt it. So no. I wouldn't put too much thought. I wouldn't put any more thought into it than you initially do at the time.
Yeah. If you go in and he's then, instead of excluding you, he's picking on you, then I'll go to HR. That's there, and he's like bullying. He's actively trying to make your life miserable. Yeah. But if you went to HR and you were like, I've asked it. If they said to you, have you spoken to him, and you were like you've told us, yes, I spoke to him, and he says he hasn't got a problem, HR won't do anything. There's nothing for them to do. You know what I mean? They'll report
they would
it.
Try to do what is it called when mediate? They'll try to mediate.
Yeah.
But if the geezer's in full denial that he's been a dick, then he ain't gonna take anything on board. No. I always found with arseholes in the past, there's a few people, not many, that I've come across. I tend to get along with most people that I've worked with. But there's been a few people that I've really taken dislikes to, especially when I was in management. And I just thought they're an arsehole from the off. And then what I used to do with them is just kill them with kindness. It's so hard to hate someone that is so nice to you. And that's what I would do. And I could see it was winding them up. And I'd be like, how are you this morning? How are you getting on? And all this stuff, like really chirpy, which is complete opposite of me. Complete opposite of me. And I would be like, hello to everyone, like normal. And then when that person that I know don't like me come in, I'd be like, all right, mate, how are you doing? Do you want a cigarette? We'll go outside. And and eventually either won them over or they lost their shit with me.
I fucking hate that kind of shit. Like every morning, there's this guy, and I know he wants my job. He covers my job when I'm. He's always fucking staring at me. It pisses me off. Nothing to do with him, just my own insecurities. But every morning, he's always like coming in late and just strutting in like he's a fucking big dog. But I watch him with my eyes. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, here's this fucking cunt again. You fucking prick. I hope you fucking fall over and fucking hurt yourself. And then he's like, morning, Dan. And I'm like, morning, man. Fucking prick.
And he's probably completely
oh yeah, he has no idea. Yeah, absolutely no idea. But yeah, so I agree with Jamie. Like this guy's going home and he's not giving you a second thoughts, and neither should you. So like I said, if he's actively going out his way to piss you off, then he's got a problem. You should go to HR. But just try and, you know what I mean, find that I'm sure there's other people there that you can make friends with. This guy's not like the end of all.
It is hard when you go into especially when someone's very cliquey, you don't know who to trust. It's difficult. It is difficult,
yeah, exactly.
And I do get that, and I don't underestimate the feeling of being left out. But I just don't think it's and as Dan said, until he's actively picking on you, I don't think you need to deep it too much.
No. Just go in and do your job, and then I'm sure there's going to be someone there that you can interact with. And in time, once because some people as well, like we have such a high turnover at work. Like some people, I don't even bother unless you've been there for like a month. Like I'm just like, you're going to go anyway. What's the point?
Yeah.
So he may just be like, oh, what's the point? Because you're not going to last. So eventually he might open up because he's like, oh, you're here, you're doing your work. You know what I mean? So you just got to give people time. But good luck. Let us know if it changes and we're wrong. We always like to hear when we're wrong, even though we don't appreciate it. And thanks for emailing in.